We have with us today, here on the southeast side of Chicago, the climate marchers who began their journey in California. They have marched across the country, and they will continue marching until they reach Washington, D.C. Their intent is to bring awareness to this climate crisis. As we see it, fossil fuels, the use of fossil fuels is causing our climate to change. The change in climate is going to have a major impact on the planet, as well as our lives and our lives for future generations. So what we're here to say today is we need to do something now. We cannot wait. We cannot chance it to see if we're wrong or right or otherwise. We need to do something today. The scientists say climate change is happening. It's due to all of this carbon being burned, all these fossil fuels, the planet we're destroying in our quest for these fossil fuels. We need to look at alternative energies, make a change today. People need to become conscious of what they are doing to this planet. They need to also look at their lifestyles. We need to start looking at what we do and how it impacts everyone else. The reason they made this journey here today is because Petcoke, which is a byproduct, waste product of the refining industry, is sitting in our backyards, in the backyards of communities on the southeast side of Chicago. We have become the sacrifice zone. This stuff impacts us directly. Everybody uses gas, drives a car, but not everybody is impacted in the same way. Our communities here are impacted directly by Petcoke, which is dusty, emits dust into the air that our community and residents breathe, dust that lands on their properties, impacts their properties' values. It is a blight on this community. We are here to say we want this stuff out of our backyards. Yes. Yes. We are tired of being the sacrifice zone. We have other visions for this community, and they do not include dirty things like Petcoke. So with that, I'm going to introduce Olga Batista. Olga is a local resident who has been involved in the southeast side coalition to ban Petcoke, along with the Southeast Environmental Task Force, of which I belong to, and other members of the community. We have been working very hard with other organizations to solve and bring resolution to this issue of the Petcoke in our backyards. Olga.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. For years, my home, the community of the Southeast Chicago, has been exposed to fugitive dust particles from coal, petcoke, metcoke. A neighborhood where there was once steel mills that employed thousands of residents has been dealing with the aftermath of the steel industry's decision to move their operations to other parts of the world. Parts of the world where workers have less or no union representation and lax or no environmental protection laws. Even back then, there was an environmental and a health hazard. However, when the steel industry left, a toxic avalanche of industry that mostly deals with waste of one kind or another has moved in. My friend Peggy Salazar has pointed out that the Southeast Chicago is a wasteland of metal scrap yards, industrial composting, petcoke storage, sulfur that also comes from BP and is processed into pellets and then shipped back to BP, and many others. The most troubling, petcoke, a waste product of refining tar sands oil from Canada, is being stored openly along the Calumet River. It's only feet away from people's homes. The petcoke is coming from a nearby refinery in Whiting, Indiana, but the storage facility is owned by KCBX, a company owned by the Koch brothers. The dangers of these substances in the air that we breathe has prompted the community to demand a complete ban of petcoke from Chicago. Yeah! We accountable for the complete disregard of human life and violating our human right not to be poisoned in our community. However, BP has a new coker that cost them nearly $4 billion to build, and the Calumet River is an ideal location to store the substance, which is coming by barge, train, and truck through residential areas and causing dangers on so many levels. I am proud to report that the grassroots organizing and pressures by groups like the Southeast Environmental Task Force, the Southeast Coalition to Ban Petcoke, has brought about new regulations where there weren't any, and for one company, Beamster Brewer, to close and remove all the Petcoke from their facility. The regulations, however, are too lax and full of loopholes. These companies are currently applying for exceptions or variances to protect their bottom line. And Rom, Emanuel, and our current alderman from the 10th Ward have given in to these threats of a lawsuit and have sold us out. As a mother on the front line in this battle, I still remain hopeful that repairing the harm to the Calumet region will be something we can do for future South Chicagoans. These companies are not welcome here, and they should not be permitted to access the lake and the river in ways that make us sick. Thank you.
This is what we're talking about here. This dirty, absolutely disgusting, toxic substance that is taking over here in Southeast Chicago. You know, I came from Detroit, Michigan right before this, and we had the same issue happening there as well. This is not a good thing to be happening anywhere in our world, in any communities around the globe. I'm from the Great March for Climate Action. We're a group of people, concerned citizens from all walks of life, walking across the United States of America from March 1st to November 1st this year to inspire action on the climate crisis. We don't need to talk about this anymore. We need to take action. We need to take action now, immediately. Every single day, 200 species go extinct because of our industrial practices. Every single minute, 31 football fields of forest are cut down, clear cut for monoculture agriculture, to feed our entitled meat consumption, mostly in the developed world here in the United States. We need to look at how we are interconnected into these systems. We need to draw that awareness to ourselves and to our communities, and we need to change our lives, and we also need to change these systems of power that are producing the toxic chemicals like the Petcoke here, the BP tar sands refinery. So what's happening right now in my home state of Michigan is that while there's been this national battle against the Keystone XL pipeline, which has been absolutely incredible and very inspiring, Enbridge has kind of slipped through the growth and expansion of what is called the Enbridge 6B pipeline. That's more tar sands flowing. It's more tar sands flowing, and it's going right across Lake Michigan. There's another pipeline going through Michigan, the Enbridge Line 9, I believe it is, that's going underneath Lake Michigan at the Mackinac Straits. We need to get rid of all tar sands. If we get rid of all tar sands, that means we're getting rid of the Petcoke as well. We need to shift off of all oil, tar sands especially, and we need to do it now, and we need to address the immediate consequences like the Petcoke in these communities. So another thing is that, you know, BP, the Koch brothers, see these communities as dispensable. They believe that they can throw their toxic waste onto these communities, and they're not doing it in the rich white suburbs of Chicago. No, they're doing it down here in Southeast. They're doing it in East Side and Whiting. They're doing it in the poor communities, mostly the communities of color. This is a social justice, environmental justice issue. It is hurting the people and we need to work together. We all need to join forces. This movement, the climate movement, environmental movement, the labor movement, all of the movements, civil rights movement, we all need to come together. This is a battle for a massive transformation in our society, and we need to start right now. We need to come together and fight this stuff. We don't have time to wait. We need to do it right now.
No more Petcoke. No more Petcoke. No more Petcoke. No more Petcoke. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out this evening. My name is Rich Martinez. I'm a member of the Environmental Justice Alliance of Greater Southeast Chicago and also part of the new 10th Ward Community Service Organization. But I'm speaking today as a father of 5 children and raising here on the east side. And all 5 of my children, when they were younger, all had very serious upper respiratory problems. They were all classified as being asthmatic, even though there was no history of asthma on either side of our families. And so as we took our children to our pediatrician, the pediatrician asked us, well, where do you live? And we told her. And she says, oh, that's because of the environment of where you live, that your children are suffering. So last year we had 1 million tons of Petcoke coming to the east side. 2 million tons are scheduled this year. And if the Koch brothers get their way with the IEPA permit, they can bring up to 11 million tons of Petcoke into the southeast side. And so it is time, as 10th Warders, that we stand up, that we rise up and fight for our families, for our children, and for their future. And one of the things that we're doing as 10th Warders is that we have a ballot referendum initiative that we are working on right now to put this question on the ballot in the February election. So in addition to voting for a new mayor and a new alderman, 10th Warders are going to have the opportunity to vote yes or no. And the language reads as follows: shall the storing, handling, and transporting of petroleum coke be banned in the 10th Ward? And today we unequivocally say yes. No more Petcoke in Chicago's southeast side. Thank you very much.